Mary-Anne Gillespie here. All right, I'm trying something a little different. I'm in a different room just because I'm having some major renovations happening. So I'm kind of that mindset. Uh-oh, here we go. Let me just see here. There it is. All right, so welcome. We're going to be talking, and hopefully you can hear me. If you can't hear me, well, I'm sure somebody will give me the heads up and say, I can't hear you. So welcome to this Facebook Live. As you can tell, I always get a really good kick out of it. My left eye is swollen, and it only gets swollen when I eat chocolate. So it's like this horrible tell that I have that's like if I, let me just make sure. Okay, good. I just want to make sure if you can't hear me, you got to let me know, but I think we're okay. My assistant has my numbers and stuff, so she can let me know. I'm on a different microphone and system today. So anyway, so yeah, I have this horrible tell where if I eat chocolate, you can kind of see my left eye whenever I eat chocolate, because I have an allergy to it. So whenever I eat chocolate, the only thing that happens is my eyes swell up. So unfortunately, when they swell up, then you can tell that I've eaten chocolate. So anyway, and for those of you who know, I pulled out of the Berlin Marathon the other day because I got a stiletto on the top of my foot. So unfortunately, it's the way it goes. But anyway, so I had a rough day yesterday. So I had chocolate. Despite being allergic to it, I'm like, I do the sacrifice, and I'm like, I don't care if my eye swells up. I'm like, I'm going for it. I'm all in. All right, so we're going to just talk for a couple minutes here about recruiting. So anybody who knows my background knows that I'm a pretty big recruiter in my past life. So really good at recruiting. I can easily, it doesn't matter what company, it doesn't matter what it is, I can literally just recruit a ton of people to it. I find recruiting is very easy if you kind of look at it in a strategic way. So whether you're recruiting for your office, whether you're recruiting for your team, whatever you're recruiting for, you always want to start with a pipeline. So a lot of the things that I see, and this isn't going to be long because recruiting is super basic, all right? First thing you have to look at is, do you have a pipeline report? And I don't mean having a very intricate system where you have this big CRM and you're focused in on having all these touch programs and stuff like that. It's not the point. You have to look at the first thing which is having a recruiting pipeline report. That pipeline report has to be located somewhere. And you have to know what you're recruiting is the next phase, okay? So if you're looking at recruiting, what are you actually recruiting? Some people will go and they'll recruit, like for example, let's hypothetically say that I want more coaching clients, but I don't have the coaches yet. Well, does that really make sense? You want to get the coaches first, so I need to recruit coaches before I recruit clients. Sales is recruiting all the time, all right? So here's the thing with recruiting. Couple things. You want to have a pipeline report. That's the first thing. Second thing you want to do, and it's shocking to me because I don't see it happen a lot, you have to let it be known everywhere that you're hiring. A lot of people won't come to successful people because they don't know if they're actually, hiring or if you're not hiring. And I think that's one of the biggest things that I look at is that if people don't know what you want, it was asked, somebody said it to me a long time ago, a really great leader. He says, you know what do you want? He goes, you got to let it be known. If you're recruiting, put it on everything. Put it on your social media accounts all the time. Not just once when you need it. You should always be recruiting. If you're a business owner, you're always looking for people. Always. And sometimes I'll lean in and I'll be like, okay, if we're looking at recruiting in a certain area, sure, that makes sense to niche it down for that advertisement. But if you're looking at hire sales force, for example, if you have a real estate team, you should always be hiring. And every single person on your real estate team, if you've got 40 agents in your real estate team, then you should be doing that, okay? Now, also equally, you want to be leveraging out the people in your organization, whether it's your team, whether it's not your team, whatever the case is. So you want to be leveraging it out to everybody. And what I mean by that is if you own a real estate team and you're looking for talent, then what are you doing to make sure it's on the bottom of all the email addresses of every single team member? Does it say that you guys are hiring, that you're always looking for talent? Because your own internal team will help you tremendously is one of the things I'm always saying. Now, when it comes to recruiting, you can do different seminars. So that's never a bad thing, just to kind of look at it here. Sorry about that. I'm just looking at the little thing. Oops, sorry. Sorry, I thought somebody had put something down. I'm far away from my computer. I thought somebody said they couldn't hear me. So you want to have the pipeline. You want to be crystal clear on leveraging the people within it. Here's some good ideas. A lot of people go to Indeed for recruiting. I'm not a big fan of Indeed. I really don't love it too much for recruiting, especially if you're looking for salespeople. I don't really know a lot of salespeople that are looking on Indeed. I'm a top salesperson, so I don't really go into Indeed to look at it. You want to look at recruiting in 3 different ways as far as talent, and you have to decide which of these 3 you really want to focus on. There's non-talent, which is the first level, okay? And then there's emerging talent, and then there's proven talent in your hiring. Whether you're hiring administratively or whether you're hiring actual salespeople, I would put people into those 3 categories. Non-talent doesn't mean somebody sucks at something. Non-talent just means is that they don't have experience yet. So it's unknown if they're going to be successful in the role that you're hiring them for. And they're easy to find. So non-talent you can find anywhere. It's pretty easy to find non-talent, but equally what it is as well is that they're cheaper to hire, but they have high turnover and they need a lot of training. So if you're bringing a non-talent person on board, which is a mistake that a lot of people make, and you don't have time as it is now, then you better hire somebody to fully train that person, because I've been a victim of that problem all the time. You know, I am one of the busiest people I know, and I've brought people into my organization. I haven't been able to train them, so unfortunately that hasn't worked. Okay, so are you hiring non-talent? So non-talent is inexperienced. That means under a couple years, they don't have any, you know, stats that show that they're really going to be successful, so they need a high training environment. Emerging talent is that over 2 years, under 5 years. And so it's that 2 to 5 year sweet spot where somebody's showing the trends, that they've got really good ability. Maybe it's coaching that they haven't had, maybe it's direction, whatever the case is. But emerging talent means you're capturing somebody before they become a rock star. So you have to be really good with those people. They're middle of the line to hire. They're a little bit more expensive, but not much. And again, you have to get them before they become talent, because at that point, they may not be looking at joining an organization. They may be looking at replacing you. Okay, so emerging talent is my favorite. They're ready to jump into the team. They don't need a lot of work, and you know what? They're really already showing signs that they're going to work out. So it's really a matter of being the right fit for you. And then the final one is what we call proven talent. That's where the most expensive hires. They're not hard to find. They just require a different action plan. So you've got to be really aggressive with hiring those people, and you have to be willing to pay the price to hire them. So, but they can jump into your organization, and if you want massive, fast growth, so if you own a team or a business or a company and you want to blow it out of the roof, then go after your competitors. That's the only way to do that. If you want fast results, you want somebody that can jump in, then you have to go after your competitors, okay? And that's what we do for proven talent, and you have to be willing to pay the price for them as well. So you'll get wicked results, and it'll be really awesome, but you have to write the check for it, okay? So if I want to jump in and hire the best coaches, I have to steal them most of the time. Okay, and I wouldn't say stealing them. I think it's just creatively going after them. I wouldn't be looking at new coaches because they require so much work and so much coaching work and so much training work that I have to say no all the time. I get all these great people going, hey, can I coach in your company? I'm like, well, how long have you been coaching? Well, I've never coached. It's not the right place. Okay, so I have to write bigger checks to hire better people, but I also have to have a different strategy. So let's talk strategy here. Okay, a couple different things you can be doing. I would strongly suggest having webinars all the time. Okay, recycled and reworking. So I would do like what it's like to work for your organization. Have whole content videos on what they're going to look up you before anything else. So if they see that you're hiring, or if they hear that you're hiring, they're going to be looking you up beforehand. So you have to really know out of those 3 categories who you're hiring. And again, if you get a lot of people at the entry level, have somebody that you can pass them on to. So if you're a real estate team and you have an office, just refer them off to your team leader or your manager or whatever the case is. And a really good script for that is to just say, hey, listen, you sound great. You sound amazing. Unfortunately, though, I don't have the leverage to train you. And so my office does. So I'd love to do is have a relationship with you where I'm checking in and maybe invite you into some of our stuff and give you some of our overflow, but I can't bring you into our organization yet because you simply just don't have the skills yet to fit in it, and I don't have the training program available. There's nothing wrong with that. Don't try to take somebody and put them into your environment without the right support. If they're the non-talent, the first category, you don't want to bring them into your organization if you don't have the right training for them. It's just going to take you away from what you're doing, and you have to think of yourself running 40 miles per hour. If you're running 40 miles per hour, you got to pull back. Now, if you're looking for administration talent, okay, and again, you need to be getting 200. You hear this. 200 applicants before you find the right one. And a lot of people ask me, they're like, holy shit. I'm like, if you find one applicant and you think this is the right person, equally with a salesperson. If you're only looking at one person that came down your ecosystem, I'm sorry, that's not enough. You need to dive really deep into finding talent, okay? So another thing, databases. You need to reach out to your entire database, do a great video, talk about what you're looking for, be specific, and say, listen, I just want to know, they don't have to be looking for a job. Put me in touch with somebody. So if I was looking for a sales rep, and I own a real estate team, if I'm looking for a sales rep, here's what I would do. I wouldn't just ask for people who are looking for sales positions. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the phone, or I'm going to send a video email and say, listen, hey database, I need your help with something. This is really important. I need as many of you to think as possible because I need to do some intel. And intel is important because as we grow, I need to make sure that I have the right profile of who we want to hire. So I'd like you guys to think really long and hard about this. Who do you know that is a wickedly amazing sales rep? I don't care what industry, whatever it is, but who do you know that knows how to sell? And they're in sales currently, and they're amazing at what they do. I want to be able to be introduced and talk to those people, find out what makes them tick, what makes them amazing, so that our next hires can match what they're doing. Okay, now I'm going to send that out to my whole database. Okay, why? Because remember what I said, we need a long-term pipeline. And in your industry, if you can pitch your industry and your sales performance abilities to somebody and say, hey, listen, chances are is that they can make way more with your company, or maybe they're looking for a change. The point is that then you make the call and you say, hey, by the way, Mary-Anne just sent me an email saying you're the best salesperson she's ever met. And I'm really looking to talk to as many sales reps as I can to get some feedback and some opinion on the team that we're building. Do you have a chance? I'd love to take you out for a coffee. Don't kid yourself. It works. The problem is you're always looking for people who are looking for jobs and you're hoping that the timing's right. But if you're continually in conversations every week and you're always building that pipeline, you're going to get wicked results. So that's a huge one that you can be doing. So your email signatures for the whole team, working with the top people in the environments that you're looking for, sending out videos to your database is another big one. Again, having that pipeline report. A lot of people, if you don't have time to do this, who are the people that have great influence in your city, in your industry? Who are those people? Are there any online job sites? We have Ladies Who Work. So Ladies Who Work in our city has about 20,000 members. Okay, I'm not saying it's the best place to find talent, but if you do, there's 20,000 members on there. So make it fun. Don't just put a post saying, here's what I'm looking for. 20,000 members, and like I said, what I would do is I would reach out to the owner, the manager of that site and say, hey, listen, I really want my post to get traction. What can I post on here that's going to work? Is there an incentive that I should be looking at offering? Is there a way to post this? Is there anything that I'm missing here that I want a plethora of applications? Okay, so you really have to post it. Don't just post it on one. You want to post it regularly and consistently. Should be on all your websites, all your social media stuff. And going back to what I was saying is they're looking up you first. So where do you have on your social sites, if you have Instagram, do you have one of the highlight reels saying, we're hiring? You know, I mean, do you have anything about that where they can jump into the reel and they can look at all the things? Here's a video of the team. Here's introducing team members. Where's all the content that show that you're amazing to work with? How am I going to know that you are for me if you don't have anything on your social media accounts at all that I can jump on and go, oh yeah, I don't need to look at 700 different things on here. Here's the one highlight reels or the highlight area that I can click on that says we're hiring. I click on there and next thing you know, I got videos of your team members. I see the fun pictures that you guys are doing at events. I'm learning a little bit about you. I'm seeing, you know, there's job roles on there. You know, you need to give me access to who you are and see if it's in alignment with who you are as well. Again, every key influencer, you need to look at your top 20 key influencers that you have in your life. Who do you know that is highly connected? And who do you know that is a big influencer? And are you reaching out to them and saying, here's a job description, here's what I'm looking for, I'm very clear about it. Might I just ask you, I really need your help. Can you find me 1 to 3 great referrals that I can reach out to? They don't need to be looking for a position, but somebody that matches this that I can talk to. Now, the reason why, because like attracts like. So if you're getting a lot of referrals from people who match that criteria, but may not be looking for a job, I know my circle is very much like me. Okay, I know it is like me. I bought a scooter the other day, an e-scooter. One of my good friends got an e-scooter. So I know my circle's like me. We do a lot of the same things together. So my circle is going to be very much, what I'm looking for. So if I want to find somebody in my circle, I'm going to really just ask for reference for my circle. So that's what I really want you guys to do, is use your internal circles as well, but hold them accountable. Quite often in recruiting, I'm hearing that you guys are doing all the work and you're picking up the phones and you're dialing. I'm going, it doesn't even make any sense. Another thing you want to do is if you're looking for agents for your team, this came up the other day. It was a great recommendation by a team leader, is use slide dial. So use slide dial. Slide dial gets you into people's voicemails quickly. So you know what? If you want, there's I think in my real estate board, there's about 3,000 agents right now. Okay, all I'm going to do is I'm going to just really do a slide dial. Maybe I'll do 25 to 50 slide dials a day, which means I'm just automating a voicemail that just says, hey, it's Mary-Anne. Listen, we're building one of the best real estate teams in the industry. And I just want to give you a quick heads up that guess what? We're hiring right now. And we're always hiring. We're always looking for great talent. If your year's not turning out the way it is and you want to sit down and you want to look at making a change and joining a top producing team, we're looking for a listing specialist. I'd love to talk to you. Reach out to me, and I'd love to set up a time to meet. Okay, now here's the thing. If somebody reaches out to me, we send them a Google form. And the Google form just has a few questions to weed out whether they're, remember, non-talent, emerging talent, or proven talent. If they're non-talent, and it comes back that they have no results and it's non-talent, I'm going to refer it elsewhere. So I'm going to just be polite and say, I'm so sorry, we are looking for experience, and I'm sorry if I didn't mention that. However, I want to still help you. So I set up a meeting with my team leader. They're happy to help you. Okay, and we can keep in touch for sure, but I am looking for people who have experience, and I'm honest with people, and I just say, I just don't have the ability to train. I work too much, and I won't have the ability to develop you, and that's not fair to you. Okay, so be clear about stuff like that. When you have a lot, and slide dialing every day should never stop. If there's 3,000 agents in my city and I'm looking for agents, then I need to be doing slide dial every single day to a certain quantity of those agents. So that's what I'm suggesting to you guys. Think of creative ways of doing it, come up with the list, have your database, have the leverage that you have, but remember, people know people in certain groups. So if I'm looking for a top admin talent, I'm going to call every single competitor that I have in the industry, and I'm going to call their admins. I'm going to look at the top producing coaching companies, the top producing teams. I'm going to find out who their admins are, and I'm going to call them, and I'm going to go, hey, it's Mary-Anne Gillespie. We may not know each other, but look, I'm really trying to find you. And what I mean by that is that I love what you do. You work for one of the best teams in the area. You work for one of the best companies, whatever the case is. And I know you must know people like you. I've got a wickedly awesome position that I've opened up that's similar to what you do. And I was hoping, do you know any friends? Because like attracts like, and I'm hoping that in your circle, maybe you know somebody that would like a similar opportunity to what you're doing. And then I just pause. If they say no, because I'm catching them off guard, what I do is I send them a copy of the job description. I say, would you mind if I send you a copy of the job description? They go, yeah, sure, that's no problem. Perfect. And guess what I'm hoping? I'm not going to lie. I'm hoping they read it. They go, wow, this sounds amazing, because I compensate at a really high level. I pay well. So if I pay well and I compensate well, I'm hoping they read it and they go, this sounds like a hell of an opportunity. And I'm hoping that they're like, yes, I'll apply. But if not, I want that to make it to their friends. I want it to make it to who they know, because admins will know other admins. Remember, circles know circles. See, like I said, stop spending so much time recruiting based on you making all the one-on-one calls. Find out what's appealing and bring them in. So for example, if I'm recruiting a person in an office and I'm saying, listen, you guys need to recruit in that office and you want to hire a bunch of agents, well, then you should be leveraging the top 10% of agents in your office, because they're always recruiting, so you're always recruiting. So how can all of you guys work together? And that's what you really have to start solving. So here's my thing. When it comes to recruiting, there's a bunch of things you could be doing. Like I said, start off with a pipeline report, leverage out the top 20% of people that you know in your life that are influencers. Go onto social media. Keep your social media always aggressively hiring. You're always hiring. It should not be intermittent. So always keep the hiring going. Look at everywhere and say, if I came to visit your social profiles, would I see that you're growing and always hiring? Are you showing your personality through that kind of stuff as well? Are you sending out videos to your database asking for referrals that are very crystal clear? Do you know what you're actually hiring as well? And then are you using all the resources like slide dial and other things to just basically load up a certain consistency at a certain amount with a certain message every day? Even slide dial alone should be getting you at 25 to 50 a day slide dials. You should be getting 3 responses back about every single week saying, yeah, okay, I'd love to talk to you. Recruiting is not hard. It's only hard when you don't do it consistently and you're not matching. So if I'm talking about a real estate office, the number one thing you want to recruit to is you want to recruit to developing people. You know, the more you can create programs and systems around training and development for people and invite them into there, that's the first step. So it's about building relationships too. Okay, so hopefully this touched a lot of little things that you're not doing consistently. Obviously, if you coach with us, we give you more, but this should get you started for those of you who are doing it. All right, so stay tuned. I think we're loading up a coaching tip very shortly. Have a great day, everyone. We'll talk to you later. Bye for now.